This is Joe Webbon. He's a self-affirmed Christian nationalist. So he believes that far-right Christian extremists should be the only ones in power, and in fact, the only ones in the country. If you are not a Christian, you do not belong here, and you'll be deported, or you'll put in a concentration camp or something. Anyway, he's insane. I've covered him a few times, but listen to what he said recently.
Moved to Texas, I needed to get a new cardiologist. And so my wife, she does a lot of this for me because before we had kids, she was an RN, and she
Okay, fair enough.
knows a lot more than I do. And I let her read those books. She read some medical
Believe it or
books.
not.
Yeah,
He's not smiling here. This is real. I mean, I heard a guy chuckle in the background a second ago. This is real. Okay, he doesn't want women learning or being educated or whatever, and certainly not voting. I'm 100% serious.
and so she's doing the research and looking at these things, and she shows me two doctors, both of this within the same practice, same company, hospital, and saying, do you like one over the other? And one was a young white dude, and one was a young black dude. And I said, I prefer the young white dude, and this is why. The reason why is not because I'm white, but because we currently live in a historical moment in the West, and particularly in these United States, where I know that both of these guys could be perfectly qualified. But I also know that if there's a chance that one of them was not qualified and was given a free pass, it'd be the black guy. I know that young white guy, there's no way he got a free pass.
Really? No way he got a free pass, you don't think? You haven't ever heard of any white guy having parents that paid for somebody to take the LSAT for them or whatever other medical examinations? You haven't heard of anybody paying somebody to take tests for them? How do you think Donald Trump got through college? Yes, he got through college. A degree in economics from Wharton School of Finance or some other thing. How do you think he made it through college, really? You don't think he studied and took the tests, right? Of course he didn't. No, people don't get there through free passes usually. It's really hard to build your own practice. Oh, no, wait a minute. I'm sorry. He said it's the same practice, just two different doctors at the same practice. You don't get into a practice that you co-own with somebody by being a doctor, by being somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about, doesn't know what they're doing. They were just pushed through or whatever. That's not how it works. And for the record, he's talking about affirmative action. First of all, that doesn't exist anymore. That was nullified by the courts. But second, affirmative action only ever required companies to lean toward demographic equivalence, basically. So if there are like 15% black people in your town, in your region, and 80% white, and then, 5% of different ethnicities, and you get two resumes across your desk, both of them are equally as qualified. Both of them know what they're doing and are just as capable as each other. You should favor equalizing the ratios. So if you have 18% black people in your company, but only 15% in the town, then you should hire the white guy to make the percentages more equal. That's what affirmative action was. Again, doesn't exist anymore. It's pointless. But he seems to think that you can't be black and qualified. I mean, I hear this from Charlie Kirk, too. These people know full well that they are completely full of it seems to me. They're just coming up with an excuse to be racist. Straight up racist. So anyway, he says it to a black guy's face.
That looks bad, Joe. I think that is bad. So
I don't think so, but go ahead.
Well, no. Tell us why you don't think so.
DEI was not my idea, Corey.
Mm-hmm.
Wicked people.
Oh my God, please. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, like departments or whatever. Really?
Marxist people, instituted DEI, and it set our country back in race relations by about 80 years.
How?
I put the blame squarely at the feet of the left, and I will not take responsibility. And
that doesn't surprise me.
And what I said in that clip, none of that is racist. And if that is racist, then racism is a word completely depleted of all its meaning, all its power.
I gotta wonder, what does he think racism is exactly? The way that I read it, racism is prejudice against somebody based on their race, right? he is prejudging. He has prejudice against the black doctor because he's prejudging that he's underqualified for the job that he has because he is black and no other reason, because he's black. That seems pretty clear to me. I don't know how it gets clearer.
And if that's what racism is, then I really don't care if people think I'm a racist.
Why do you think, though?
So I'm wondering, why does he have rosy cheeks is my question. He's always got these rosy cheeks. Anyway, yeah, that's the clip. This guy is a colossal scumbag. That's not even like the first or last time that he said it, that he's gone down this path. He is a perfect example of a racist person. Listen to this one. This one is from early July 2024.
Like, I walk around my neighborhood, and it's not that there are different shades of, white and brown. Who cares?
Okay.
No, it's like full straight up Hindu garb at our neighborhood swimming pool that my daughter is asking. I'm trying to explain. She's like,
So people have different cultures, different experiences, and you're unhappy that your daughter is exposed to diverse situations with differences of like opinion and differences of everything else, difference of culture and all that. You're upset by that? What? As Alex Baranowski says, free pass? Being white is a free pass. Yeah, you're right. Statistically speaking, for this type of reason, if no other, white people have the advantage. And that's what affirmative action set out to correct, trying to make it a more level playing field. But he doesn't want that. He wants to find some way to demonize the black community and pretend that they're getting some kind of unfair advantage. He is such a joke of a human being.
And I don't even know what country I'm in my own neighborhood. I don't know where I am.
Because you see one Hindu person? How do you know they're Hindu? You mean Indian, like Indian garb? What is Hindu garb? Does he even know what that looks like? Hindu is the religion that is predominant in India, right? The religion. But Indians wear common clothes. So is he complaining about Hindu religious clothing, or is he complaining about just an Indian being in his neighborhood? I think the rosy cheeks are a symptom of rosacea, long-term inflammatory skin condition, causes reddened skin and a rash, usually on the nose and cheeks. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you were going to tell me something like really hilarious, but no. Okay, that's fair. He just doesn't like people that are not white in his neighborhood. And if you don't believe that, give it a second.
I don't know where I am. It's, the number of, when we go on a family walk, the number of Pakistani, Hindu, all these different, not just ethnicities, but religions with visible religious.
Okay, so did you catch that? He was naming ethnicities and then realized that he was naming ethnicities and tried to backtrack and say, I'm not just talking about ethnicities. Well, what are you talking about then? No, I'm talking about religion. What a joke of a human being, really.
Outfits on. And, the same thing, like when we go to Costco, I'm like, where am I? And so like,
you're in a Costco?
It's rare. Like we'll go on a family walk and every now and then we'll pass by, a white family that's a man and a woman and has more than one kid.
That's rare? Are you kidding me? I live in New York City. I see that constantly. That's nearly all I see in New York City. Now, I see a bunch of other types of people. I see a lot of Sikhs. They have the headgear, See a lot of Muslims. Every now and then I see one with like a hijab that covers her whole face. I think it's called a niqab, maybe. People of all different backgrounds and stripes and experiences. I don't understand. How is that hurting my kid? You know what? I didn't even explain that stuff to my kid. She saw somebody with the traditional hat and she's like, wow, that's cool. Anybody at school seen that before? Gets information from them. You don't have to explain anything about this to your kid. They'll figure it out. But no, he feels threatened by this diverse presence in his neighborhood. Oh my God, bro.
Has more than one kid. And every time I see it, I'm like, I don't want to be this way. But I feel like this like small sense of relief. Like I see him.
I don't want to be this way. What way? Racist? Is that what he's saying? Then don't be racist. See how easy that is?
I'm glad you're one of my neighbors. Because at the end of the day, again, it's not about whiteness. But at the end of the day, if things get rough, I don't know if my Hindu neighbor is going to fight to save the lives of my children.
Why would your Hindu neighbor have to fight to save the lives of your children? What? Would you fight for their kids, I wonder? Of course not, because he's racist. This is a very clear example of him being racist, right? I don't know how it gets any clearer than that. Just to put it on record, if you are unfamiliar with him, let me just lay down a couple of his kind of beliefs, his ideals, or whatever.
My hometown and my neighborhood, my state is being flooded with non-citizens, and then even those who are citizens, first-generation immigrants who have attained citizenship, which aren't many, but those who have.
There aren't many? What is he talking about? There are not many people become citizens in the U.S.? What? People become citizens every day. Also, so he's saying that he thinks that all immigrants are shifty, lying, taking advantage of the system, that type of thing.
Citizenship, which aren't many, but those who have are still.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, where does he live anyway? Is he in Texas or something? I think maybe it's in Texas.
Aren't many, but those who have are still worshiping false gods. They're not American in any sense of our heritage. And primarily, I'm talking about that being a problem as it pertains to religion.
He's not talking about, I'm telling you guys, it's not about race, not about race. How many times can I say it's not about race? I swear it's not about race. Thou doth protest too much. It's very clearly about race, right? Every time he's complained about somebody being dressed differently, it was about race, except for the Hindu person, I guess. Talking about Pakistanians and stuff or whatever he said.
They worship other gods. They are Hindu. They are Muslim. They are Jews. They are not Christians.
Holy shit, dude. Oh my God. Well, what about Mexicans? They're Christian, predominantly. Mexicans are very, very Catholic, like disproportionately Catholic. I get he doesn't care about that, isn't thinking about that. No, he's finding justifications for his racism is what he's doing. And, in his heart, I think he knows that he's being racist. Check this one out. This should lay down his general beliefs for you if you're unfamiliar.
We are going to behave as a Christian people. And what does that mean? It means we're going to ban pornography. It means we are going to ban no-fault divorce.
This coming from the crowd of free speech warriors, right? And no cancel culture.
It means we are going to utterly abolish abortion, including in vitro, including the hormonal birth control pill. Mm-hmm. Every single one of its.
Holy Christ, dude. The hormonal birth control pill is not abortion. Where is he getting this? I mean, is he coming after condoms next? I don't understand. Like the Plan B pill is not an abortion pill. Most people don't realize that. It's not an abortion. The pill will not work if you're already pregnant.
Forms, not just the Planned Parenthood clinic in Texas, but we're going to go down to the local CVS and we're going to start knocking those pills off the shelf. No more human sacrifice.
Okay, that's not happening. First of all, human sacrifice. And second, they keep those things behind the counter because of heads like you.
So a civil magistrate can do that.
Yeah.
He can and should do that.
So he's laid out a plan for how he wants to make this happen. Civil magistrate, a local judge, basically. That's insane. He is trying to force his religious beliefs and his racism on society. Here's another example of who this guy is, if you're unfamiliar. This one is from early May 2024. Wow, it's really recent.
We're degenerates. We're not even close to. We're degenerates. The Constitution is not. It's not suited for governing degenerates.
No, that is exactly what it's suited for. That is why it was written, was to govern degenerates. It was written to govern anybody and everybody, because there's so many people of different backgrounds and experiences and lifestyles and everything here. He is so full of every word out of his mouth is garbage.
For governing degenerates, and I'm curious your thoughts on this, if you agree, disagree.
Whoever he's talking to, of course, agrees with him.
But I think for our population that is degraded morally and culturally, as far and religiously, as far as we have, you need power. Men must be governed. You need.
Why is he laughing at that? That's a weird thing to say.
You need a Caesar type,
When he says Caesar type, he means a Hitler type. They were effectively the same. They did the exact same things. But he doesn't feel comfortable coming out and saying Hitler yet.
Now, if you're asking me my preference, that would probably be my preference, would be a constitutional republic. But I think the conditions for that is a moral people. So I think
No, it is literally not that. The conditions for this type of government are anybody and everybody from any background. That is why it was written. Oh my God, dude.
You can work towards that in the future. But I don't think constitutioning even harder is going to get us out of our current.
No, that's the thing. It is. Constitutioning harder will get us out of this situation. He is trying to reverse the things that the Constitution has established. He's trying to erase the First Amendment. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, the right of the people to peaceably assemble, so on and so forth. He's trying to erase that. He's coming at that. You know why? Because the First Amendment contradicts the First Commandment. That's why.
Mess. I don't see us getting out of this apart from things getting worse and worse, and then eventually, like a Caesar type rising through the ranks.
When he says Caesar, again, he means like a Hitler type. They did the same. He just isn't comfortable saying Hitler.
Rising through the ranks, a populist, figure in the people.
Populist. He's referring to a Hitler right now. Seriously. Hitler was known for populism.
Figure in the people, the political will of the people, the people are desperate and they're like, yes, do it. So-and-so. And then so-and-so, Constitution be damned, just rules with an iron fist.
Why is he laughing?
And like a Cromwell type. And then
just say Hitler. Everyone knows who you're talking about.
And then you hopefully don't get his son. Maybe then you're able, and then you maybe it's just a one generation, one guy kind of thing.
Hopefully.
And then you have to move back to, aristocracy or some other form.
Oh my God, dude. Move back to aristocracy. He wants an aristocracy where there are like a few elites at the very top of society that control everything, the economy and all of it. What's wrong with him? How was he raised? What did his parents believe? What did they tell him when he was a kid that made him come to these conclusions? This is wild. Oh my God, this guy. And he's got like terrible shoes too, on top of all of it. And no tie. Why dress up if you're not going to wear a tie? Anyway, let me know what you think about it in the comments. This guy is a colossal scumbag, just disgusting human being. Really.